Hi, shalom friends. It has been said that life and death are sort of parallel universes. And as no two births are exactly alike, no one dies exactly the same way his friend dies. Of course, we could define life and death in terms of respiration, but I'm referring to the experience. No mother gives birth exactly the same as her friend. And no one leaves this world exactly the same way his companion. It has also been said that we're born alone, as if to say we're born as one. It makes no difference to the baby being born whether there are billions of people or whether this would be the only person. And the same is true of death. It makes no difference how many remain and how many don't remain. I could go on and on showing parallels and ideas, but there's another thought that has been expressed by many, and that is there are certain people whose life is defined by their death. So we could have, for example, a martyr, a hero, a champion who dies, and through his spectacular exit from this world, that sort of reminds us of what kind of an individual and what kind of a life he brought with him in this world. Unfortunately, no one knows from the birth of a baby who will be that champion, who will be that genius, who will be that revolutionary. It's been in the news a lot about Nelson Mandela, a great leader of South Africa, a spectacular funeral. All the dignitaries came to show honor, pay homage. There's much to talk in terms of sociology, but let me share with you perhaps a thought or two just in terms of what can I, as a Jew, derive from this great hullabaloo of a funeral. The first, I'd like to point out that what a person accomplishes is very often different than the character of a person. And we often make a mistake, and by thinking a person of good character will always have good results, and a person whose character is not sterling cannot be worthy of adulation in terms of his accomplishments. And that's completely foolish. Some of the greatest leaders of world history have been personally people that need a lot to be desired. Many of them were egotistical, many of them were crafty, some of them were dishonest, and worse. And yet their accomplishments were legendary. And it's equally true that there are those people that were positively saintly and virtuous in their personal life, and as leaders were disasters. There's a mistake in trying to get these two worlds together. So the first thing I just point out, as merely as an observation, we could look at the leader of South Africa, his accomplishments, which were many. And for me, the most significant was that he was able to make a transition without bloodshed. But at the same time, there's no reason or necessity to make him into a saint or virtuous person. The public sees a leader. God sees the person. When you take a look at revolutions, whether it be the French Revolution or the Russian Revolution or the numerous other revolutions that have taken place worldwide, the more drastic the change, almost always brought a drastic change in the way people treated others, and very often brought out the worst. Every revolution, even if the motive was noble, brought incredible bloodshed and suffering. And in the 20th century, the fact that a person could lead a country from one extreme to another, apartheid to a sense of equality, without having a bloodbath, is a remarkable extraordinary accomplishment and worthy of emulation and worthy of adulation and worthy of praise. It should be a case work. It should be something which is studied in schools, how it's possible to change a country from being bigoted and racist to at least a country of laws where the individual is respected. And for that, he is to be remembered and admired. But I would like to share with you not such an obvious lesson. As I was listening to some of the press, they mentioned that when this man was in prison for close to 30 years, it was illegal to have his picture. And yet, he was a symbol for many millions. Not only was he a symbol of freedom of what might happen, but there were many songs dedicated to this man who's going to lead us to freedom. But what did this man look like? No one knew, because very few people had seen him. And yet, the name alone, Mandela, the figure behind the name, not the picture because no one knew what he looked like, was enough to galvanize and to keep hope alive. We Jewish people have been living for over 2,000 years with a hope and an image of Mashiach. And every once in a while, the skeptic says, but what does he look like? Do we have any pictures of Mashiach? Why do you keep singing songs dedicated to his coming? Why do we keep teaching ourselves and teaching others that this wonderful figure will come and make a revolution that will be bloodless? He will transform a world of materialism into a world of spirituality and change people's vices and try to motivate them to be virtuous. What does he look like? Who is he? And we're reminded, you don't always need a picture in the Time magazine. It's enough to know that there is a person who's in prison for his ideals, who hasn't changed his ideals, and that enough inspires people in the millions to keep hope alive that one day the color of the skin would not be held against them, and that people will be judged and respected for who they are. To make a separation between that and what I'm trying to convey, we know the Mashiach will come. We have an image of this Mashiach. He will be righteous, he will be holy, he will be a descendant of King David, he will be Moses, Jacob, he'll be all of the composite of Jewish leadership into one. That figure, that symbol, that affirmation gives us strength, gives us hope, and indeed provides a certainty that in a world which is buffeted from day to day with different isms, there is a truth and a goodness. So when you listen to the news, and you listen to descriptions, don't get caught up with the person, whether or not he was who they say he is in terms of virtue, I do not know. But we certainly could judge him and should acknowledge his incredible accomplishment of creating a new world without bloodshed. Lahavdil, to make a separation, we know, we believe, and we feel Mashiach can do that and will do that. And the picture of the Mashiach is not as important as the figure of the Mashiach. Let's hope and pray that we get a chance to meet him soon. Amen.